So, hello. These two pictures are of me. So when I was 4 years old in pre-K, there was this one kid during nap time that every single day would try to lay down next to me and get me to eat my boogers along with him. It was really weird. He would drill his nose with his finger and like show me like, "Hey, have you tried eating your boogers?" Like, "No. Who does that?" And then, well, he ate his, and he said, if you eat your boogers, like people will like you more. I don't understand that logic. And well, at the time, I wanted to be liked, you know. It was the first time I've ever stepped foot in a room with strangers, and even though we were just kids, it did feel really intimidating. And there was this one random cute boy. During nap time, they'll be like, "Hey, eat your boogers along with me." I didn't, but he kept on insisting every single day. And so one day, when I came close to doing it, like I actually thought about it and I poked my nose, but I flicked it off and I was like, ew, no, why would I do this? And he got really mad at me. He got really upset. And so he told everyone to not be friends with me because I am stuck up and mean. And I stared at him for a really long time because, again, where is your logic? But that was kind of the first time where I actually realized how much I wanted to have friends and how much I wanted to be liked and what kind of extents I will go to in order to achieve that. And so this is a picture of me in the 3rd grade on my birthday. This was around a time where I really wanted to be less feminine in a way, less girly. I really enjoyed the color blue, and I wanted to start wearing jeans, and I wanted to stop brushing my hair. I mean, 1, because it hurt a lot, because I used to have really thick curls, and 2, just because I was like, why should I brush my hair when boys don't brush their hair? But as you can see in the picture, I'm wearing a pink dress on my birthday, and I was really upset about it, as you can see in the picture. And it was actually a surprise birthday party. My mom came one day to school to pick me up, and, well, I didn't know about it, but she handed me this bag of clothes, and she said, go change in the restroom at Pin Oak Middle School right next door. So that was terrifying, because I'm a little 3rd grader. What am I doing in a middle school? But my brother went there at the time, so I guess it was okay. But I was really upset about it. It's like, you're really making me go inside this random school, inside some random restroom, and change? That's scary with a bunch of teens. No, thank you. Well, preteens. And so I entered, and I went to the girls' restroom, which took me a long time to find, by the way, but I did. And as soon as I walked in, these 2 girls, they were washing their hands, and they whipped their heads, and they were like, oh my gosh, are you Lewis's little sister? And I said, oh my gosh, yeah. And they started they started getting a bit hysterical, I guess. They had a crush on him. I don't know, why would you have a crush on my brother? But they did. And so they really wanted me to go along and talk with them for a while and talk to their friends as well, which, once again, where is that logic? I'm just a little 3rd grader trying to change. And so after I did change, they actually waited for me, and I walked out, and it was a bit awkward. But once again, I wanted to be liked, and here were these girls in the 7th grade who were like older than me actually wanting to talk to me. So I did. It was really weird, because how are you supposed to relate to a 3rd grader? But in a sense, they did, since we had one thing in common, which was my brother. So again, I just wanted to be liked. And so here is a picture of me, which I don't like, from the 6th grade. This is kind of where I started going more into the whole outcast kind of emo scene. And as you can see by my neon Converse, I really was confused, but I also, once again, really wanted to be in something. We wanted to be a part of something, wanted to be liked. And so the middle school I went to is the one I'm zoned to, and it was a bit filled with people who didn't really care about their education and just wanted to throw stink bombs in the restroom and skip all day. And well, I was the complete opposite. I actually did my work, so I'd be the one they cheat off of, which was okay because I thought I was being liked. And along the way, throughout my 6th grade year, I really hated waking up in the morning. I really hated that school a lot. And so that kind of sent me more into the whole darkness of the emo phase. So I started listening to, those emo bands like Pierce the Veil and stuff, which I kind of regret now, but it's okay. Because they shaped me in a form, and they shaped my middle school years. And I mean, if your middle school years aren't embarrassing, good for you. This is me 8th grade year. I tried to find a picture, like a better picture of where you can actually see me dressed in my emo clothes, like my black jeans and my band tee, but there weren't any because at this time I was in the headspace where I hated everyone, I hated everything. I wanted to stay in my room all day and blast that ugly screamo music all the time. And so this was the only picture. It was of my 8th grade graduation, which I had moved from my zone middle school 2 months into my 8th grade year into a different one. So I started all over again, and I really, really hated that. I had to wake up earlier. I had to ride a smelly bus. I had to meet new people and once again try to find where I could fit in. Good thing there were fellow emos over there, though, so it was okay. And as you can see, I'm wearing, if you can, I'm wearing all black Converse with a dress. Bad decision, but I really wanted to keep my, I'm rebellious and nobody talk to me kind of thing, so I refused to wear heels, and I still do. This is freshman year, so I came here. And immediately, it was okay for me to be an outcast because everybody here, to be honest, is a bit weird. So it was okay. And I found a fellow emo, my friend Vanessa, and immediately we hit it off. It was the first day of our Eagle Camp, which is what freshmen come to before actually starting school. And I had walked in 20 minutes late, and she was, the only seat empty was the one next to her, and how lucky of me that she was wearing a 21 Pilots shirt as well. And so immediately we became friends, and she's still my friend to this day, so yay. But freshman year was, even though I was more comfortable here, it was still a bit tough because I started to realize that everybody was way smarter, everybody was way more out there, and I wasn't, even though, because at my middle school, people would cheat off of me, so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so smart. And I got here and I was like, oh no, that's not it. But it's okay. I worked my way up, so yeah. And so this is sophomore year. I was so angry this year for no reason at all. The only thing that made me happy was the fact that my mom let me dye my hair different colors. And that was really all I held on to. But ironically, this was also the year that I had the most friends. I had a huge clutter. We'd sit every day during lunch, and our dean would yell at us to be quiet at all times. And we always left a mess after lunch, so I'm sorry. But I was not happy. I was kind of lost. I didn't know what to do because I've always liked to think ahead, but I did not know where I was going to go for college or what I wanted to do when I got there or just how to climb my way up into the GPA scale and stuff like that. And so when junior year came around, junior year is the toughest year, but it was also the year where I woke up and I was like, I need to step up. I need to know where I want to go and what I want to do and who I want to be most of all. This was also the time where I went through the most phases. My friends would make fun of me all the time because I'd be onto something else every week. And this was the time where I flourished the most, but where I was also just broken down a lot as well. This was junior year. I cut my bangs. One day I was just sitting. It's like I was going through something. I don't remember what. But I went to the kitchen. I grabbed a random pair of scissors, and I walked into my guest restroom and just went. This picture was taken the morning after when my friends were trying to make them look presentable for school. They failed, and that's a picture. But I don't regret that decision. It was an impulse, but I realized that at that point in my life, everything I was doing was more of an impulse, and I needed to have a goal. Obviously, I made them work in the next picture, so. This was also the year where I was appointed editor-in-chief of our yearbook, which not only was terrifying, and I did not know what I was doing, but I had to teach all of these underclassmen how to use the software and how to talk to people and how to take pictures. And I was still in that headspace where I did not like talking. So that was a bit tough, but we made it. And this year was also the year I got nominated for the Posse Scholarship. So if you don't know what that is, the Posse Scholarship is a full tuition scholarship to one of 6 schools in the US. It's a very competitive process. Last year, there were over 1,200 nominees, and out of those 1,200 nominees, each school only picks 10. And so I got it. It was very, very challenging for me. I really wanted to go to one particular school on the list, Bryn Mawr College. I fell in love with it since the 5th grade, since my teacher was an alumni for it. And I was actually very discouraged to even apply to Bryn Mawr my junior year, because in our guidance class, which is basically where we did a bunch of college research and college readiness, I saw the statistics and what was required of me to get in, and I was nowhere near on that scale. I'm still not, to be honest. But I took the route of being myself and being more bold with who I was and what I wanted to say. And there were 3 interviews to go through. And every single one of them were with different people, and you had to do different activities. And it was very intimidating for me, but I really wanted it. I really wanted to go to Bryn Mawr. And there's actually a post up there, a screenshot from my spam account from August, where I was like, you know what, I'm going to Bryn Mawr. With or without Posse, which, once again, looking at the requirements, I was like, But something was in my head that day where I said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get this because I know I can. And so I did, and we cried a lot, like a lot. It was I think that's one of the greatest moments of my life, to be honest, finding out that I got this scholarship. And a picture there with all the girls, that's part of my posse, because Posse picks 10. And so this posse is supposed to be our family, and we're going to college together. And I'm very, very excited. So yeah. So this is senior year. I look different in all these pictures, I know. This is kind of where I went back to my whole phase kind of thing, but only because I was finally comfortable with the fluidity of going through these different phases and different people I wanted to be on certain days. And that is okay. I am clearly not the same person I was back in kindergarten, with a boy trying to convince me to eat my boogers, but a part of me from that day is still here though. I still double think. I still, ask, where's the logic in that? And I am glad that I am finally confident with who I am and comfortable and safe. And I'm out of that hole of darkness, and I hate everything. It was really, really tough for me to get out of that mindset, even to be a peer. Freshman year me would have definitely not done this. And I'm just very proud of that. And what I want you guys to take from this is that you're allowed to change. That is okay. It's actually expected. I encourage you to change as long as it is in a more authentic and genuine, healthier version of yourself, as long as you are comfortable with the person you are reaching to be. Thank you.